Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. And one last thing, don't forget to be awesome. Yeah, man. Sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching The Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about AEW Dynamite for February the 2nd, 2022. So yeah, man, this is a really great show, man. Great show. Great main event, bro, with CM Punk, MJF. Such a great match, man. Great story, great back and forth. And yeah, man, the right person did win this match. MJF winning the match, which was the right move, man, which is the right move in my opinion, man. And yeah, because, MJF, of course, he's on his way for the AEW World Championship, so you want to have him win. So that's why, in my opinion, it was the right move to have him win. And technically, he beat him twice. He beat him twice, technically. And so, yeah, man. So, yep. So, right after that win, man, MJF, of course, he's going to go after that AEW World Championship. And he's going to win it. He's going to win a championship. And, yeah, man, another thing I love on this show was the Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley stuff. Bryan trying to get Moxley to join the dark side. Yeah, not only a partnership, but to create a new faction. With Moxley and Bryan. And you had Lee Moriarty, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta. So yeah, man. So really love the offer, man. Love the offer from Bryan Danielson, man. Great stuff, man. So yeah. Either way will work, man. Either way will work. You could have them fight each other, Bryan versus Mox, or you could have them team up, man. Either way it goes, man. Either way it goes. But yeah, man. This is a great show, man. I enjoyed this show, man. This is really fun. And so yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with Dynamite. And yeah, man. I say this all the time in the intro, man. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here because I'm here each and every single week, man. And yeah, man. So yeah, so tonight we were live in Chicago, Illinois, the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois. And so yeah, man. So our first match of the night, we had Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta with Orange Cassidy and Danhausen in his corner. So Danhausen, of course, made his debut last week on AEW Dynamite. So he's officially signed. And so, yeah, man. So, yeah, this match, it was supposed to be Jon Moxley versus Brian Kendrick. And so, yeah, but Tony Khan had to pull Brian Kendrick away because of stuff that he had said in the past. Some offensive comments that he made in the past. I'm not going to go into it, but we all know exactly what he said. And so, yeah, man. So, all I got to say about that, man, is be careful what you say on the internet, man, because it will come back and haunt you, man. The internet never forgets, man. And so yeah, man. So yeah, so Wheeler Yuta, he replaced the Brian Kendrick. And so yeah, man. So yeah, so Moxley, he took control of the match. And then Yuta, he fought back. He had some offense in the match. Moxley had a power driver to Yuta, and Yuta had kicked out. And then Jon Moxley had locked in the STF submission move to Yuta, but Yuta had put his foot on the rope. And so Moxley, he started chopping Yuta, and so Yuta started fighting back. And so yeah, man, at one point we had Jon Moxley hit the Dirty Deeds finishing move that he used to do in WWE when he was in the Shield. The headlock driver. That was the first version of the Dirty Deeds. So he hit that on Yuta on the ring apron. And so yeah, so at one point we had Moxley, Danhausen, and Orange Cassidy had a standoff. So Moxley had gotten both of these guys' face. And so Yuta, he had dove onto Moxley. And then Yuta had hit a German suplex to Mox. And so Moxley had caught Yuta with a cutter, and then Yuta had hit Moxley with an angle slam, and he followed up with a diving splash. And so yeah, so both of these guys, they were going back and forth, and then Moxley hit a lariat followed up by a series of elbow strikes. And so to end the match, man, we had Jon Moxley hit his finishing move, the paradigm shift to Utah to win the match. So therefore, Jon Moxley wins the match. And so yeah, man, so right after the match, man, we had Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon. Bryan Danielson, he came out to the ring, and he was in the ring with Jon Moxley, so they had a standoff. And so Bryan, he actually spoke. So Bryan spoke.
You know, for a long time, I wanted to see us fight too. Because you were different. I wanted to see what you had. But since you've come back, we've seen a new Jon Moxley. Everybody, give it up for Jon Moxley. And you see, deep inside of me, there's always been a part of me that wanted to test you. Because I saw you from where I was before. I was watching you. I was watching you as the AEW World Champion. And I don't care what anybody says, you were the best AEW World Champion.
One of the best. One of the best.
And if you had a little support, I think you would still be AEW World Champion.
Ooh.
And that's when I realized that Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson shouldn't be fighting. We should be fighting together.
Wow.
Yeah, the crowd love it, man. They love it.
How about that? Not a bad idea.
Did not expect that, man. When I was watching it live, did not expect that.
You see, here's the deal. Here's the deal. And I know everybody here loves AEW. I get it, right? I get it. But there is no reason why some millennial cowboy should be the AEW World Champion. There is no reason why somebody dressed as a dinosaur should be an AEW World Tag Team Champion.
Wow.
There is no reason why somebody whose main contribution to society is creating a vlog should be the TNT Champion. Listen, Mox. Together, you and me, we could run this place.
Yeah, man.
Whatever we wanted. If you wanted to be AEW World Champion, you can be AEW World Champion with me. If we wanted to be AEW World Tag Team Champions, we can be AEW World Champions together. If we wanted to take some of these young guys, somebody like Wheeler Yuta, you see, he's coming out here with jokes.
Yeah.
He's coming out here with Orange Cassidy, with Danhausen.
Oh, man.
What if we took somebody like Wheeler Yuta under our wings? What if we took somebody like Daniel Garcia away from 2.0?
Yeah.
And we mentored him. What if we took somebody like Lee Moriarty, instead of him being around Matt Sydal and Dante Martin with his high-flying bull crap, what if we took him under our wings and we trained the future of professional wrestling together?
Yeah, man. So Bryan, he told Moxley, like, hey, man, you don't have to decide now. I'm going to give you time to think about it. And so that was pretty much it with that, man. And I loved it, man. Absolutely loved it. And you heard the crowd, man. The crowd loved it too. And I love the fact that they keeping Bryan as a heel. Like at first, like right after he was done with Paige, I thought they were gonna change him back into a babyface, but I'm glad that they kept him as a heel because he's so You know, he's the type of guy that could play both roles, babyface and heel. But me, I like him better as a heel. I guess it's just me because I love heels. Yeah, a faction with John Moxley, man. John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Wheeler Utah, Lee Moriarty, and Daniel Garcia, man. The five of them together, bro. The five of them together, man. They could do some damage. They could do some damage. Wheeler Utah, yeah, just like what he said, shouldn't be in the best friends. On being the elite, they treat Wheeler Utah like crap. They treat him like crap. The best friends do. The best friends treat Wheeler Utah like crap. And yeah, man. So Daniel Garcia, he's with 2.0. So Daniel Garcia, he should be out on his own. I don't think he fit with 2.0. Yeah, I will put him with Bryan. I will put him with Bryan. Daniel Garcia is a great fit to be under Bryan's wing. So yeah, man, I love the idea, man. I hope they go with it, man. I hope they go with this faction idea, or they can have them go up against each other. But yeah, it came out as a shock, dude. Like with Bryan asking Moxley to be his partner. And like at first I thought they were gonna have a match, but either way it goes. And so yeah, man. So right after that, man, we had Brandi Rhodes. So yeah, so Brandi Rhodes, she came out to the ring and she spoke.
I just love every time I get to come back to this town. Everyone is so nice to me here in Cleveland.
Chicago.
Or Chicago, whatever, it's the same thing. No, I did come down here to talk about...
God!
Uh-oh. Dan Lampert and the minute of the year came out and interrupted.
You would think that somebody from a wrestling family would understand how bad it is for business when you start believing your own bullshit. They may have given you a reality show, but what you need, honey, is a reality check.
Dan Lambert.
So I'm going to give it a shot here. You can pretend that Cody earned his spot in this company. You can pretend that Chief Brand Officer is a real title in AEW and not just something given to you to stroke your massive ego. You can even pretend that your Brandi from the block accent when you get upset isn't as fake as those bolt-ons popping out of your t-shirt right now.
Oh, bro. Oh.
Yikes.
But you can't pretend that you're not getting booed out of this ring even though you're standing next to a rich, angry, conservative, sexist, AEW-hating old man like me. I almost feel like a decent human being standing next to you.
I don't know what you're laughing at, Ethan. Everyone knows the only reason we hired you was to get to Josh Alexander.
Wow. His former tag team partner in the North in Impact Wrestling.
But Dan, let's keep this between you and me. I don't understand the beef you have with me. I feel like we should get to know each other. I mean, I looked into you after the last time you ran me down, and you're doing good. 5-time Gym of the Year, most champions on your team in history. Doing great. Well,
Shut the F up from the crowd. Dang. Getting that Cody heat. Heel heat.
are you done? But Dan, things are going pretty good for you, but they're not great. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and run right through them like I do everything in this company because I can. Dan, it is a little telling that your best fighter got his ass knocked out by Jake Paul. And Amanda Nunes? Or is that too soon? We won't go there. We won't go there. I know that one hurts. I guess all I'm trying to say, Dan, is you should spend a little less time at AEW and a little more time with American Top Tits. Oh, I mean team. Same
Wow.
thing.
I'm reading this off of WrestleZone too, so shout out to WrestleZone. So Dan Lampert, he has said that he thinks that all the roads should turn heel because the only face turn she's making is when she's face down at her old job. And so yeah, that's what got him slapped by Brandi Rhodes. And so yeah, so Brandi Rhodes had slapped him in his face. And it was a weak slap, by the way, too. Weak slap.
Boy, I knew that was coming.
You know, I had a feeling you might be in a fighting mood tonight. And I'm probably not the only person in this building who has slapping the shit out of you on their bucket list. But I do have a few things left to accomplish here before I inevitably go down in a glorious fireball of cancel culture.
Ooh.
So I got a better idea for you tonight.
And so yeah, we had Paige Van Zant, sort of a member of the America's Top Team. And so yeah, so she came out, and Brandi and Paige Van Zant, they were fighting. And so yeah, the women's locker room came out to separate the fight. And so that was pretty much it with that. The segment was good, man. The segment was really good, bro. How Dan Lampert get away with saying stuff like that, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. But yeah, man. But yeah, everything that Dan Lampert doing with the Men of the Year, man, I love it, man. I love it. And so yeah, man. And Brandi Rhodes is great on the microphone. She is great on the microphone, but I do not want to see her in the ring. I really don't, bro. So yeah, so it looked like they are coming up with a match, or they are gonna make a match, I guess, with Paige Van Zant and Brandi Rhodes. That's the way it's going, it seems like. But yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with that. So yeah, great segment, man. Really good segment. But yeah, I don't have any interest of seeing Brandi Rhodes in the ring. And so yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with that. And so right after that, man, we had the AHFO. We had the Matt Hardy with the AHFO backstage.
Private Party, I was very disappointed in your performance last Friday. You failed to bring home the AEW World Tag Team Championships to the AHFO. Sammy Guevara, I know on Rampage, you have an open challenge for the TNT Championship. I want that title.
Matt, how are you?
Andrade Alito.
Nice. You lost last week. What happened?
Yeah, they lost and I was furious. It was an embarrassment, it truly was. That's why this week, for the TNT Championship, Isaiah Cassidy is taking on Sammy Guevara on Rampage.
Whoa, Matt, I could be.
No, but you got beat last week. You screwed things up.
Matt,
He gets a chance to redeem you.
Matt, I got you. Just wait. I don't want any mistakes.
Look, Andrade, it's not gonna be mistakes, all right? I'm gonna take his title tonight, and if I feel like it, I may just take his girl. You feel me?
Oh wow.
Look, I gotta ask you, what's the status with Darby? Why is he not here with us? Why is he not signed yet?
Matt, you know how is the business? Maybe he want more money.
Okay.
Why need to speak with the dad or with the
Más
boss?
dinero?
Él quiere más dinero. You know, money talk.
This Friday, Rampage, do not fail me, Isaiah. This is your chance to be a star.
Say no more.
Bring home the TNT title.
I got you.
To the AHFO.
I got you.
And so yeah, man. So that was it with that. So it's official. So the match was made official. So it's gonna be Isaiah Cassidy versus Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship on Rampage on Friday. And so yeah, man. So that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had a tag team match, and it was the King of the Black Throne. That's Malakai Black and Brody King versus the Death Triangle. So that's Pac and Pentagon with Alex Abrahantes in their corner. So yeah, man. So when the Knights, not the Knights, when the Kings of the Black Throne, they came out, the nameplate, it said the Knights. It said the Knights of the Black Throne instead of the Kings of the Black Throne. And so yeah, so that's gonna be on an episode of Botchamania for sure, man. And so yeah, the Death Triangle, they made their entrance. Pac, he had came out, or Pentagon came out first, and then Pac, he was being guided to the ring by Alex Abrahantes because Pac, he was blindfolded. Pac, he started the match, and so Malakai Black thought that he was blinded, he couldn't see, and so Pac, he had tricked Malakai Black into believing that he couldn't see, and so yeah, so Pac, he attacked Black while he was blindfolded, and so right after that, he took off the blindfold, and so the Death Triangle, they dove onto Black and King, and so the Kings of the Black Throne had took control of the match during the commercial break, picture in picture, of course. We had a hot tag to Penta, he took out Black and King, and we had a backstabber to Black from Penta, and we had a sliding a series of sliding knee strikes to Pac from Black, and he kicked out of the move. And so Pac, he had a brain buster to Black. And so Brody, he had broke up the pin. And so Penta, he had took out King with a springboard senton. And we had super kicks to Black from Penta and Pac. And so, yeah, so the Death Triangle tried to go for their finishing move, the Fear Factor. But Brody, he had knocked Pac off of the top rope. And so, yeah, and so referee was distracted by that. And so Black, he had spit the black mist in Penta's face. And referee didn't see it. And so we had the Kings of the Black Throne. They had their finishing move, the Dante's Inferno, to Pentagon to win the match. So therefore, the Kings of the Black Throne wins the match. So yeah, so they're getting closer and closer to those tag team titles. And so yeah, man, so that was pretty much it with that. Really, really good match. And so yeah, man, so right after that, man, we had Adam Cole. He was backstage and he spoke. So yeah, so this is Adam Cole right after his match that he had with Orange Cassidy last week in that Lights Out match.
Brandon, turn the damn camera on. I am still undefeated in singles competition here in AEW. And my record, it reflects that, because I swear to God, if I have to hear one more damn time that Orange Cassidy beat me, I will slap you in the mouth. Orange Cassidy didn't beat me. That was a fluke. In my record, once again, my record reflects that. And even me with this undefeated singles record here in AEW, I still don't get the respect that I deserve. Because I'm one of the best damn pro wrestlers on the planet and have been for years.
Yes, sir.
And everybody is going to see a new side to Adam Cole. An Adam Cole that takes what he wants. Because in 2 nights' time on Rampage, I am going to fight Evil Uno. And after I hurt him and beat him, which I will, the entire world will know exactly what I want.
Uh-oh.
Shut it off.
And so yeah, man, so that was it with that. So yeah, so Adam Cole, you know, since it was a lights out match last week in the main event. Even though technically he lost, but he really didn't lose, because in a lights out match, in an unsanctioned match, wins and losses don't matter. You know, it doesn't count. So yeah, so Adam Cole, he is undefeated. Right after he's done with Evil Uno, I can see him going after either the TNT Championship or the AEW World Championship. He might go after the TNT title. But yeah, man, it's time for Adam Cole to go after some gold, man. Adam Cole versus a Sammy Guevara match would be really good. A feud between those two would be a great, great feud, especially for the title. So yeah, man, so that was it with that. And so yeah, right after that, man, we had the women's match. And it was Nyla Rose with Vickie Guerrero in her corner versus Ruby Soho. In my opinion, the uncrowned TBS champion, Ruby Soho. Yeah, so Ruby, she went right after Nyla Rose. She had threw a jacket in her face. And so, yeah, so she put the boots on Nyla Rose. And so Rose had took out Ruby Soho with a shoulder tackle and took control in the match. And then Nyla hit a Samoan drop to Ruby. And then Nyla Rose started biting Ruby Soho on her fingers. And so that was really disgusting. Why would you bite on somebody's fingers? Or put somebody's fingers in your mouth? But yeah, man, so Nyla Rose hit a Death Valley driver to Ruby. And then Ruby, she had dropped Nyla Rose face first on the ring apron. And then Nyla Rose had hit a spine buster to Ruby on the floor. And so Ruby, she had hit a finishing move to No Future to Nyla Rose, but Vickie Guerrero had put Nyla Rose's foot on the rope, on the bottom rope. And the referee clearly saw it. The referee saw it. And the referee did not eject Vickie Guerrero from ringside. And so the referee just allowed Vickie Guerrero to stay at ringside when she should have been ejected. And so, yeah, so Ruby, she went right after Vickie. And so Rose had stopped Ruby Soho. And so they were both fighting at the top rope at one point. And then, yeah, Nyla Rose had knocked Soho off the top rope. And then Nyla Rose had hit a diving senton bomb to Ruby's back. And then in the match, we had Nyla Rose had hit a finishing move, the Beast Bomb, to Ruby Soho to win the match. So therefore, Nyla Rose wins the match. And that was it, man. That was it. So Nyla Rose got a win back over Ruby Soho. And yeah, man. Yep. Ruby Soho, uncrowned TBS champion. The uncrowned TBS champion should have won that TBS title, man. Should have won that TBS title. But yeah, man. Yep. But yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had the Gun Club. They were backstage. They attacked Jungle Boy backstage. So they brought him outside in the cold. And they threw Jungle Boy on the ground through the snow. And so we had Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. They had chased off the Gun Club. Billy, Austin, and Colten Gunn. So right after that, man, we had Tony Schiavone. He was in the middle of the ring. He interviews Hangman Adam Page, who is the AEW World Champion.
And making his way known to this man, going up against the world champion Hangman Adam Page. I want to get your thoughts about a Texas death match for the AEW World title next week.
Champion for 81 days, and I've gotten to defend it twice. I came out at the beginning of the year, and I begged and I pleaded for a challenger, and here I am, 3 weeks later, still waiting. Look, I got a 5-month-old baby at home throwing smushed peas all over the damn house. There's a foot of snow outside, and my flight home tomorrow is probably getting canceled. And Lance Archer wants our match next week to be a Texas death match, but to be honest with you, I really don't give a shit. Because I need something. I need anything, and I don't need it next week. Damn it, I need it tonight. So Lance, I know you're back there. So why don't you get your sturdy ass out here and let's give these people in Chicago a fight.
And so yeah, we had Dan Lampert and Jake the Snake Roberts. They came out and they interrupted Hangman Adam Page.
You know, I'm actually surprised you showed up here and didn't stay back in Cleveland after last week's show.
And so yeah, Dan Lampert, who we saw earlier tonight.
What's this all about?
I mean, this is the home of the Chicago Blackhawks. And I figured a soft-ass cowboy like you would feel more comfortable back in a city like Cleveland that canceled their Indians. Hey, I'm going to shut you the hell up right there, okay? I don't care about what you thought you were going to say backstage. Huh?
Shut up,
don't
little
give a
boy.
Oh.
You know, people are telling me you're starting to act different. That you're jumping around looking behind you. What, are you starting to have bad dreams or something? Maybe even a nightmare, if you will? What is it? You smell something? I smell something. You see him sweating? I think it's fear. Fear's what you are. I'm gonna shut the hell up. Patience do this.
So yeah, so Lance Archer came out. He went after Page. Page hit him with a tope. And so yeah, man. So they were brawling outside the ring, man. And then Lampert, he tried to hit Page with a chair from behind. And so Page had took the chair away from Lampert. So Page tried to hit the buckshot lariat to Lampert. And then that's when Archer had hit Page with a chair. And so that's when he hit the choke slam on the steel steps. And then the blackout through the timekeeper's table. And so yeah, so that was it with that. Yeah, so they building up Lance Archer for him to lose. That's what they're doing because he's not gonna win the AEW World Championship. He's not. Like at first, I don't even know why he got a title opportunity, like for the AEW World Championship, because it's like every single time he went after a championship, he lost. You know, he lost against Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship to crown him the first ever TNT champion. He lost to Cody Rhodes. He lost to Jon Moxley when Jon Moxley was the AEW World Champion. He lost to, who else did he lose to? Miro. He lost to Miro when Miro was the TNT champion. And, you know, he eventually won a championship, the IWGP United States Championship from Jon Moxley when Moxley was the champion. And so, yeah, man, that's pretty much it. That's all he did. That's the only title he won. So he lost so many times. What makes you think that he's going to win the AEW World Championship when he lost so many times, lost so many title matches? So, yeah, so that's why they did what they did tonight. You know, they're making him look strong before he lose. But, yeah, man, so that was pretty much it with that. And Page, he's going to retain his championship. It's going to be a tough fight for Page, but we all know who's going to win. We all know who's going to win. Page is going to win. And so, yeah, so that was pretty much it with that. And so right after that, man, we had Le Champion, Chris Jericho. He was backstage and he spoke.
Santana and Ortiz, which you did last week by blatantly not tagging me in our match versus 2.0, and Daniel Garcia was disrespectful to me. It was embarrassing to me, and it was unacceptable. And for what? Why? Because Eddie Kingston? Because you started in the business together? We started AEW together.
Yeah.
What, does Eddie Kingston have some kind of hold over you, some kind of influence? No one has more influence in this company than Chris Jericho. When it comes to AEW, I am more of an influencer than Kylie Jenner is on Instagram. I want to hear from your mouths, face to face, why you did what you did last week. That's why Chris Jericho, the influencer, is asking, no, I'm demanding a full Inner Circle team meeting next week on Dynamite, live in the ring. And you all better show up, especially you, Santana, especially you, Ortiz, because attendance is mandatory.
Oh, man. So, yeah, so that was it with that. So we have a meeting. We have an office meeting. that's what they're making it seem like, a office meeting. So we have an Inner Circle meeting. Everybody has to show up, including Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager. They have to show up too, even though they don't have nothing to do with this Eddie Kingston drama. They still got to show up. So yeah, man. So that was pretty much it. We could be seeing the end of the Inner Circle. We could be seeing the end of it. If that's the end of the Inner Circle, man, what a ride they had, man. What a ride they had, bro. The Inner Circle was the most dominant faction in AEW, man, for nearly, 2 years now? Like, since the start to now. So, yeah, before we get into the main event, man, let's talk about next week's show. So, let's talk about Rampage, and we're going to talk about next week's show. So, yeah, man, so for Rampage, we have Adam Cole versus Evil Uno of the Dark Order. And then we have the FTW Championship match. It's going to be Ricky Starks representing Team Taz, who is the FTW champion, versus Jay Lethal. And also we have a women's match. It's going to be Mercedes Martinez versus Thunder Rosa. And then we have the TNT Championship match, Open Challenge. So Sammy Guevara representing the Inner Circle, who is the TNT champion, versus Isaiah Cassidy of the AHFO. And also so that was it with Rampage. And so for AEW Dynamite, we have the Inner Circle team meeting next week. Chris Jericho, Santana and Ortiz, Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager. And then we have the AEW World Championship Texas Death Match with the AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page versus Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk, next week. And so, yeah, so those are all our matches that are announced for Rampage and AEW Dynamite for next week. And now, the main event was MJF versus CM Punk, Chicago's own CM Punk. And so, yeah, the crowd was going crazy for Punk, CM Punk chants. And so, yeah, man, so MJF, he avoided Punk the early parts of the match. And then Punk, he started to fight back. And then at one point, they were fighting outside of the ring. And then they went into the crowd. CM Punk had grabbed a beer can and smashed MJF over the head with it. And so they went back into the ring. Punk had hit a series of body slams to MJF. And so he started toying with MJF. And so Punk tried to go for the diving elbow. And so MJF had rolled out of the ring. And so Punk, he had ran into the ring post, bicep first. And so, yeah, man. And so, yeah, so that's one of the main stories of the match, the arm and the leg. And so first it was the arm. So MJF, he went after the arm the entire match, man. And so, yeah, he went after the arm. He took control of the match during the commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And we had a diving crossbody to MJF. And then Punk, he started fighting back. And so, yeah. And so Punk hit his swinging neck breaker, followed up by his corner knee strike, and followed up by his running bulldog. And so, yeah, so Punk, he had slammed MJF on the ring apron, body slammed him on the ring apron. And so at one point we had CM Punk, he had let a fan chop MJF. And so, yeah, and so Punk, he tried to go for his diving elbow drop again, but MJF, he had tripped up Punk on the top rope. And so Punk, he landed nasty on that top rope. And so, yeah, so Punk, he hit the Pepsi twist to MJF. And so MJF, he tried to use the referee as a shield. And so MJF, he had grabbed tape from his wrist, and he started choking Punk with the tape. And he hit it from the referee by using the sleeper hold. So I thought that was brilliant, man. I thought that was really brilliant. And so, yeah, man, so he hid the tape while he had the sleeper hold locked in on Punk. And so, yeah, man, so the referee was, trying to get, how the referees pull up the opponent's arm. Referee pulled up Punk's hand for a third time, and so the referee had to ring the bell. And so, yeah, man, so MJF, he wins the match, in which we thought he won the match. And so, yeah, so he was celebrating with the referee. And so the tape, didn't he hit the tape? I thought he hit the tape. Yeah, he hit the tape, and so the tape somehow had got on the floor. And so the referee had saw the tape on the floor. And so the referee was like, hey, what is this? And so the referee saw the tape. MJF tried to hide it, but it didn't work. And so, MJF or the referee, so the referee had told the ring announcer, I'm going to continue the match. The match is going to continue. And so, so the referee continued the match, right after he rung the bell for MJF as the winner. And so the referee had reversed his decision and restarted the match. And so, so Punk, that's when Punk unloaded on MJF. And so MJF, he went right after Punk's arm again. And then Punk hit a diving clothesline to MJF. And a tope suicida MJF. The knee is the other story of the match. And so right off of that tope suicida, Punk had hurt his knee. And so so MJF went right at the Punk's arm and knees or legs. And so Punk had locked in the STF submission move to MJF, but he couldn't lock it in all the way because his arm hurts. He has a bad arm and all that stuff. And so Punk tried to go for the GTS, but Punk had failed because of the legs and all that stuff. And so so MJF had locked in the ankle lock. Punk had fought out of it. And so both of these guys were going back and forth with strikes. Punk hit a spike round to MJF, and so they both landed nasty, man. They both landed on their head. And so so MJF hit like chop blocks to Punk. MJF, he had hit a pump handle driver to Punk for a near fall, man. That was a close one, man. And so so MJF had hit the low blow on Punk behind the referee's back, and so MJF had rolled up Punk, and then MJF had got his legs on the rope for extra leverage, and Punk still kicked out. And so so we had another commercial break. And so both of these guys, they were biting each other. And so so Punk had pulled out off a move that he hadn't hit in a long time, man. So Punk, he went to the top rope and he hit his Pepsi plunge off of the top rope, or the pedigree, whatever you want to call it. But he called it the Pepsi plunge. So that's, shades of his Ring of Honor days. And so so Punk, again, he hurt his knee off of the move. So so Punk finally hit the diving elbow drop, his Macho Man Randy Savage-like elbow drop to MJF, and MJF had kicked out of the move. And so so we had Wardlow. Wardlow came out to the ring, and he got in CM Punk's face. And man, and so Wardlow, he had let CM Punk get to MJF, so he stepped out of the way and let Punk get to MJF. And so so Punk and Wardlow, they had a stare down. And so somehow MJF had the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and so he blasted Punk with the Dynamite Diamond Ring to win the match for a 1, 2, 3. Referee didn't see it. And so so therefore MJF wins the match twice, and beat CM Punk in his own hometown. And so so they went through the replays, dude, and we saw Wardlow threw. I think he threw didn't he throw? I didn't see it, but they said that he threw the Dynamite Diamond Ring to MJF, or he handed him the Dynamite Diamond Ring to MJF. And at that point I was like, how? How did he, cause the referee, he was like he was talking to the referee. The referee was talking to Wardlow, so I don't know how he got the ring to MJF. But they said that he handed MJF the ring. I don't know how though. But yeah, sly, very sly, man. They are so sly, man. Yep, that was it with the match, man. Great match, as I said before. Great match, great story, great back and forth, man. And with this match, I knew MJF was gonna win the match. I knew he was gonna win the match. Now there were points in this match that I thought that Punk was gonna win the match. With the restarting of the match and all that. But the right person did win this match. MJF won the match, and potentially he's going after the AEW World Championship. And I think he might win. I think he might be that person to beat Hangman Adam Page. And so man, so that was it, man. That was it. Great match, man. The best thing on this show, the best match on this show was this main event, man. And Punk suffered his first loss, so the streak is over. The undefeated streak is over. And what better person to lose to than MJF, man? But yep, that was it. That was it with the show, man. That was it with the main event, and that was it with the show, man. Great show, fun show. Love the Bryan and Moxley stuff, and the main event with Punk and MJF, man. Really great stuff, man. Great show. And so man, so that was it, man. That was it with AEW Dynamite for February the 2nd, 2022 on D Ryan Awesome Show. And man. And if you like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, if you're watching D Ryan Awesome Show for the first time ever, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded, because I'm here each and every single week, man. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man, comment down below and tell me how you felt about this episode of AEW Dynamite. And share this video, man, with each and every single person that you come across on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys on Friday. I'll see you guys on Friday for AEW Rampage. And yeah, man, and I have been catching up with Impact Wrestling. They have a pay-per-view on the 19th, I believe it is. February the 19th, so that's 2 weeks away. So yeah, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after the next. So yeah, I have been watching Impact Wrestling. And yeah, Dan Lampert showed up on Impact Wrestling. So yeah, so that was great to see. I'll see you guys on Friday for AEW Rampage, and yeah, and possibly SmackDown. And yeah, man, and once again, guys, thank you for the love and the support for the show. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. And if you missed last week's episode, last week's review of AEW Dynamite, the video is going to be right up here in this corner, and the link to that video will be down below in the description. So you can either click up here or click down below. And yeah, man, and as always, thank you for the love and support for the show. And yeah, man, and this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.